Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we're going to try something new for the second channel where we do a longer format POV drive. So in today's video we have a 2022 BMW M440i xDrive, and I guess we'll quickly pop the hood, show you guys what's powering this car before we set off. Notice it has the automatic unlock, which is pretty cool. It's got the double latch, so literally all you have to do is just lift it up. So under the hood we have a turbocharged 3-liter inline 6, goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 382 horsepower and then 368 pound-feet of torque. Same outputs as what you have with the new Supra, actually. And then the hood's actually pretty easy to close. And you guys can see, obviously, it's got the new massive grille with the styling. And overall, I think it's a pretty good-looking car, despite the very large grille. And I'm hoping that I'm getting all of this in view. I'll get better as time goes on, guys. Don't worry. I'll learn how to like walk around a car with the GoPro on and get you guys all the angles. Sorry about all the frost, but yeah, you can see. Nice car. And here's kind of like the back interior area. And then the front interior area, as you can see. And we'll step in, start her up. Of course there's music on. There's always music on. And you guys can see the first thing that I've been having with this car is when I've been doing the morning cold starts, the center gauge cluster hasn't been starting up, and I'll drive it for, you know, a few miles and then it'll finally pop up. So I have to like do my initial driving with the car every morning without knowing how fast I'm going. And it just keeps doing that like beeping the stability control shows, which is kind of weird. So yeah, I don't know. Just it's one of those things you have to deal with press cars sometimes. But before we set off, I guess we'll quickly show you guys all of the visibility. And this does have blind spot monitoring. And then also the window sticker. So if you guys are wondering, $67,520 for the sticker price for this car. And well, let's set off. Well, this is a very interesting first point of view drive. The screen is still not on. It keeps making, wait for it, this beeping sound, but it's not turning on. And I'm honestly just going with the flow of traffic, so I'm just guessing my speed that way. And I guess this will be like our initial around town drive, and I'll actually do quite a bit of highway driving in today's video because I got to head down to Provo, Utah today to film the new Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition. So that should be pretty exciting. Should be a pretty quick car, 3.5 seconds 0 to 60. But anyways, back here to the M440i. First off, other than the screen being a little bit silly, the car is a really good daily driver. It's super smooth around town. It's like it's got like this you know, it's not tiny, but like it's relatively small, so you can kind of like zip around traffic if you want to. It's easy to fit in parking spaces, all that stuff. So it's just a good around town daily driver from that perspective. And it's super cold outside. I would tell you guys how cold it is, but again, I can't see the temperature because the center gauge cluster is not working. But I'm guessing it's like probably 15-20 degrees outside, judging by how like cold and clammy my hands are. And the car warms up super quick. The heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that fun stuff warms up super quick too. Some cars, like their heated seats and stuff, like never truly get hot. These ones, they don't get like scorchingly hot, which is good, but they get warm enough where you can like feel it, and it feels good, right? The stability control icon went away, so oh no, it came back. We're gonna pop it into sport mode. I actually don't even know how much gas I have, to be honest. So hopefully we don't run out of gas. But in the sport mode, it automatically downshifts. And basically, so you're gonna be at higher RPMs. Man, this is the funniest point of view drive ever. Actually, we're gonna pop it back into adaptive for a second because these people are taking way longer than I thought they would to accelerate. It's because we have a Dodge Cummins up in the front of the line, which takes forever. But well, actually, maybe this is perfect because now we don't know how fast I'm going. Sounds so good. But it also accelerates at a very quick pace. Passing power is not an issue here with the M440i. And look, I'm using my turn signal. BMW drivers, look at this. Look at this. I'm using my turn signal. But yeah, like you can, passing is super, super easy. We're just gonna pretend like those cars are going like 20 miles an hour. Sounds so good. Such a nice sound. You know what? I guess the gauge cluster not working is not a bad thing because, well, sorry, officer. I don't know how fast I was going because I don't have anything to show me. Pop it in the manual mode. I don't know what gear I'm in, but I don't know when red line is, but I guess I can just guess. This is so funny. I'm literally just completely guessing with this driving. Like I don't know. We don't know how fast we're going. We don't know what gear we're in, but we're having fun. I love the sounds in the sport mode. Notice like if I go into adaptive, so it goes in and it calms everything down. It's just smooth with the shifts. It doesn't make any sounds or anything like that. It's kind of interesting how that all works. Going over bumps like that, you guys can see that right, you hear it, you feel a little bit, but it doesn't upset the car. The car stays nice and planted, which is a huge plus. We're gonna turn off the heated steering wheel. But yeah, the car stays nice and planted, and you can see coming around this thing, it also, you know, stays relatively nice and planted here. And one thing to mention is visibility in this car is pretty good. So blind spots, all that kind of stuff. Again, it has blind spot monitoring, but you know, I do find myself still having to look over my shoulder because I kind of get a little bit paranoid with this car, just because it does have real blind spots. Some cars, like nowadays, with how big the windows in it are and everything, they don't. Oh look, we got a gauge cluster! We have a gauge cluster, so we can now, oh, I'm not gonna change lanes. We got a Cummins coming through fast. We can now see how fast we're going and everything that's happening. And we can see what drive mode we're in. And also, I need to get gas because I got 103 miles of range. And yeah, we're gonna be using up quite a bit of that. We're actually gonna change lanes so we're not behind this big pickup truck thing. We're gonna pop it into the sport mode again. And now that I can see what gear I'm in and everything, I'm gonna pop it into the manual mode. Wow, that sun is blinding the things I do for you guys. Second gear. This thing's so quick. It really does feel like an all-wheel drive Supra. It has the sounds. It has the acceleration. It's got the pops. I mean, if you just put like, if you just did a, you know, downpipe on this and a tune, it'd be crazy fast. But then it'd sound even louder, and that would be a fun experience. This is what I'm talking about. Is I like right here. There's not something in my blind spot, but I still feel the need to check, because it's like there's just a little bit of a blind spot. It sounds so cool. It's such a fun experience. Is this person gonna let me go? Ah! There we go. We're good. We're just chilling at like 5,000 RPMs. No biggie. And look at this. Not a turn signal was misused in today's video, BMW drivers. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. You can bounce off the rev limiter in this. Wait a second, folks. We got to hear that again. You can bounce off the rev limiter a little bit. That's fun. This car is fun. See, and like this is just, you know, on a normal commute. So you can do this stuff. You can have this fun on just a regular commute. You don't have to be, you know, on a canyon road or on a racetrack or anything. Like, this is one of those cars that I feel like is pretty fun to drive, just all around, anywhere you're going. Now, I guess we'll also show the safety tech. So now that this is working, so we're on assisted driving, I'll set the cruise to a reasonable speed here. See if the Subaru driver cuts me off. Nope, maybe, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Is it gonna happen? Are they coming? No? Okay. Anyways, it has the steering assistance, so it is doing some steering for me. So I'm gonna try to show this here. So I don't have my hands on the wheel. Notice it steers it a little bit. This is for demonstration purposes only. Don't try this at home, kids. Notice it made the icon yellow, so it's like, hey, grab the steering wheel, idiot. So it'll do that. A little bit farther along here on the drive, I want to show the steering assist a little bit more. So here's kind of coming around a slight corner. And again, I'm not touching anything, like this is driving itself. Got mad at me. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Oh, it's gray now because it's like, you know what? I don't understand that there's lines. Okay, there you go. Now it's working again. But what I found that I have to do is just kind of like, I'm not on the steering wheel hard, but just lightly, or, I mean, I don't recommend this. This is just something that you could do if you're creative enough. You just have like one hand kind of just slightly tugging on the steering wheel, and then it'll always know that you're there. Utah drivers not using their turn signal, pulling out into the lane like crazy, but notice that the adaptive cruise control instantly caught them, and now it's slowed down. I've got the distance marker set to what I call a-hole mode, where I've got it, I think I've got it set to like the closest setting, I think. Let me see. Oh, I just went down in speed by accident. Yeah, I've got this set to like the closest following distance in terms of the settings, so it's like not riding on them, but you know, it's close enough where they're like, okay, this person's following me, and if I don't drive... They went over the double yellow line, or the double white line. Sorry, not yellow, white. You're not supposed to do that, but you know what? I won't tell you how to live your life. But yeah, overall, from a highway perspective, you guys can hear it's smooth, it's comfortable, it's quiet. It does a really good job. I don't like. I feel like this is a great. I feel like it's a great highway commuter. Like this is, I think this is where the new BMWs really shine, is on the highway. Obviously, they're built to be able to perform on the Autobahn. But yeah, see, it's kind of, it's like doing some weird steering stuff. Oh, it got confused with the lane again. So it does that sometimes. So that's why you definitely do have to pay attention with this. But I mean, it does help you relax a little bit, at least. But it's the ride comfort and the noise insulation and the high speed stability and everything to where this is such a good highway car. I feel like I could just put miles and miles on this car very comfortably, and it's always a positive experience for me. I mean, you guys can see it's just jam out to your favorite tunes, cruise on the highway. I mean, there's nothing exciting happening here, but you know, it gets the job done. And so I'm gonna do quite a bit of driving, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So we have officially made it down, and I gotta clean off the windows because they got kind of dirty on the drive down here. And then I guess this will be our, you know, final part of the video, is this little bit of around town driving here. And you know, with the highway driving, the one thing I want to mention is the steering assistance, and maybe it's just because Utah's had so much construction recently, is super hit and miss. Like sometimes it can find the lanes, but a lot of the time it was struggling to find the lane, and you know when to steer and when not to steer and all that fun stuff. But anyways, we're gonna pop it into the, we're gonna keep it in the adaptive mode for now. We'll pop it into the sport mode in a little bit, so we can get some paddle shifting driving right here in town, which again kind of shows the fun daily driver aspect of this vehicle. And there's a lot more traffic than I expected on a Saturday morning. Usually there's not a lot of traffic down here on Saturday, so it's kind of interesting. I wonder what everyone is doing. But yeah, again, as you can see, like just keeping it in the adaptive mode right here, it's smooth, it's comfortable, it just, you know, I mean, it's got great low end torque from the 3-liter inline 6. So it just gets up and moves. I'm kind of paranoid about this lane next to me because people always shoot up this lane and then they'll just like pull right in front of you. That's Provo drivers for you. But yeah, again, I know this video isn't necessarily particularly exciting, but I thought I'd try something new on the second channel, because there's a lot of channels that like all they do is these point of view videos and people watch them like crazy. So I don't know, I figured maybe there's something to it that people like watching. But pop it into the sport mode now, pop it into the manual mode. Gotta love the sounds. Yeah, see, just the soundtrack changing just makes you feel like you know, there's a substantial change with everything, right? The throttle is more responsive, the gear shifts do feel a little bit more snappy and immediate, but it's, again, just having that sound change actually helps out a significant amount. And something's cool, you can shift into first gear in this car, just like the new Raptor, right? That's the other vehicle that you can shift into first gear and it's just smooth. It seems like automatics have finally kind of advanced to the point where you can do the first gear money shift while moving and it doesn't upset the car. So I think it's cool the automakers have been able to figure that out. And I think a large part of that, right, is, you know, a lot of these transmissions, right, are more controlled by computers, so they can kind of manage things a little bit better with the rev matching and everything with the downshifts. But also, this car, right, has a super mild hybrid system component to it. And so then that also aids to that, right? Because it has that mild hybrid system component that can slightly fill the torque gap with the gear shifts and everything. So it can kind of make the transitions a little bit smoother, right? With the downshifts and with the upshifts. The Acura NSX is a great example of something that's a full-on hybrid. That's a great example, though, of filling in the torque gaps with gear shifts. Like that car, it never feels like the acceleration stops. It's crazy. So yeah, it's interesting. It sounds so cool. Yeah, I don't know. I love the soundtrack of it. So I guess summing things up here with this car, again, exterior wise, I think it's a pretty good looking car. Certain angles, it's not necessarily the most beautiful, but the larger grille, I've kind of gotten used to it. Interior wise, I like this combination, right? The exterior is green on this car, and then the interior with this has this cream color, and so I think it kind of all melds together and it's pretty nice. Touch points are nice in the interior too, like the steering wheel I think is a high point because it's got nice leather around the airbag cover, and the steering wheel has nice leather and everything, so it feels good. So you can do little things like that in traffic, right? They're fun. And then driving dynamic wise, it's good at everything, right? It's got all-wheel drive, so you can drive it in all 4 seasons. It's got really good power and torque from this 3-liter inline 6. So it's got good passing power on the highway, around town. It does great, and you can get good fuel economy in this car if you want, right? If you don't get on it all the time like I'm getting on it, you can get good fuel economy. But then, right, you pop it in the sport mode and you do the manual shifts, and this really does have the fun driving characteristics that you get like in the Toyota Supra. And so you get the best of both, right? You get this really good daily driver, but it's also fun as well. And it's so this is one of those cars that I'm a huge fan of because of the dual purpose use, right? There's not like a lot of performance sedans like this where they're so purposeful, right? A lot of them, it's like they're really good performance wise, but they suck as daily drivers, whereas this has good performance and it's a good daily driver. So it's a good package all around. And let me know if you guys enjoyed the point of view.